Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Monday, the 17th of July, 2023. So as we're looking at these markets, we keep hearing every report that I read, earnings are going to be terrible. The stock market's dropping 10, 12, 20%. I read different reports that are all giving that. So far, it's not come about. I think you'd have to agree the markets are acting pretty strong at this point. Fisker was back up today. GM, however, down. Ford down. Lucid up a little bit. And Lucid's getting a lot of good press, a lot of good things on their cars. And the reviews on the cars that they've gotten out are just stellar. I mean, they really say it's a top-end saloon that is really worth driving. I was in one, so I can attest to it. It is that great. Tesla back up today, another $9. ARK joining it. And, it's hard to believe, but because she went down so much, she gets one of the top ratings because she has come back. And while she's getting withdrawals out of her fund, and I keep reading about that, she is saying that that's because people have made so much money back with her. That may be the case, may not. Amazon, it was buy the Prime Day, sell as it ends, and that makes all the sense in the world. So let's take a look. I'm going to finish up Hyatt today, and I'll get you a new one, because when I was last week doing all this, I didn't bother with Hyatt at the end of the week. I wanted to do Amazon, so I'll just finish this up today. Marriott has been the bigger winner than Hyatt. If you look at their chart versus this, it's much stronger. However, there's nothing wrong with this chart. As we take a look, the market has had a correction mode with lower highs, lower lows, but it's staying over all the key averages. You had a bullish crossover where the 18-day average in red got over the 100. So it's not uncommon you get a correction towards that. And then the question is, can you get a rally back up towards the Bollinger Band, the black line? That is really going to be the question. Can it get up anything like that? In the slow stochastics, we're getting a correction. The market is still in it. Any numbers that are over 70, the way that I teach charting, you don't deploy new money buying that type of market. You walk away from it and let something else happen as it stretches itself out. All right, let's get to the next charts that we have here. And here we come. I think I went too far. I'm on my computer and out of town. That's why everything's different and I'm not on it. The whole week will be like that. I'm in Montana, but rather than not put these out for you, I want to keep putting them out. I would call tomorrow a key test day for Rivian. If it loses its embedded reading by getting under 79, it's probably time to come out of it and say, you might get a correction down here. If it's going to be good, it should be able to get over today's high. And from there, start moving itself back up and keep the embedded reading. So I think tomorrow's important. You still have the embedded reading in the slow stochastics in UGA. That to me means a day like today is probably getting by the pro trader looking for higher prices. XLF, another embedded reading. If you don't know what these embedded readings are, at the end of this video, I will have an ad up there explaining how it works. It's on our website at iraepstein.com. You want to get your slow stochastic set up the way I have mine to match what I'm doing, because I did change them. The formula of mine is not the typical formula. I did it with the character George Linn, who developed slow stochastics, and showed him what I had come up with, and his word to me was very fascinating, another neat twist on it. As we look at this, you got higher lows, higher highs. I'm still bullish. Lose the embedded readings, get the red lines under 79, then I'll start saying, could this be where the market's going to correct? In the video, I want the market to ideally get under the upper Bollinger Band a little bit here. It's riding it right now. Riding it is what we call that gorilla glue trade, but it's not embedded. You don't deploy new money on this. I have clients long this, as they know in the subscriber videos, and still like what I'm seeing. SOX is trying to catch up with NVIDIA, but I don't think it really does. In the home builders, everything I read over the weekend is just saying bullish, bullish, bullish. What do I mean by that statement? Not enough homes for sale. Used, in other words, existing homes. We'll call those used. New homes. The home builders on fire as people want to get things, and the consumer is become accepting, which is unusual, of a 7% mortgage, according to many of the articles. Now, a lot of consumers can't afford a 7% mortgage. I mean, you get a $300,000-$400,000 home, and you're paying an awful lot of money on that. So we'll see if that is. I never believe all these articles for what they say. Just because somebody writes them doesn't mean you agree with them. When we look at the energy sector, you see how the market's pulling back to support at the 18-day average. Now, what's hurting energy to a degree is China's slowdown. China, when it came out in January and released itself from the COVID tight restrictions it's had, the world thought, this is where you unleash the Chinese consumer. That could not have been a more erroneous statement for anyone to make. You not only didn't release him, he went into hibernation. And he is still there, or she is still there. They are just keeping their money tight-fist. They're not buying property. The property market is a mess. And China's got its hands full as American companies have left in droves. In addition, with the world the way it is, we have diversified, and other people have, to other countries where you don't have to deal with their restrictive measures. I mean, at the end of the day, China's not a free country. That's just the way you got to look at it. I'm not saying that everywhere else in the world is either, but I am saying a lot try to be a lot more than China does. China will decide out of nowhere to just say to you in one morning, hey, we don't like what the tech sector is doing, and they'll break companies, Alibaba, so on, and hurt them. Keep that in the back of your mind. They deserve what they're getting. Their system doesn't work in a free world. That's what I believe. In GLD, the market's too overbought to want to be a buyer. Yes, it's in an uptrend, but too overbought. SLV, too overbought to want to be a buyer. You never buy a Bollinger Band. Only 5% of the time you stay over it. That doesn't mean you can't push against the band, but it's not the place that you start buying. And the reason copper got hit today was pretty simple. The Chinese GDP fell. They're looking at small gains that are happening for them. The rest of the world would love a 6.5% gain, or a yearly gain of 5.5% in GDP. But for their size and where they're at, it is not good production. And if that is not the case of growth, then copper, a major commodity they consume, could have a problem. In BND, we've had a vertical price rise, which makes it insane to try to trade it. Don't do that. You just came from 71.35 up to 7,200, 7,300. Why are you trying to be a hero on that? Every day was a higher high. Let it consolidate those gains. In UUP, I like that the market moved to the right-hand side of the Bollinger Band. See that? That's what you have to do. Now the market's not excessive. It is a bear market. I would not sell this vertical price decline, as I wouldn't have you buy the BND on that. But it is in a downtrend. FXE, same thing. Too much of an uptrend. Trying to embed. You see how these numbers are now going sideways over 80? Wait for a good break. If they hold up, that's where you come back into the market. Take a look at this that you're going to see come up on the screen in a minute. I talk about slow stochastics, and I want to teach them to you. You are your best weapon for trading, not me. Learn. This course is 13 chapters. You'll master it in one day. And all of a sudden, you're going to go, whoa. And then over 2 weeks, you will get free my SPDR ETFs along with the futures in the morning videos. You will get the free charting software. Everything I give you equals the cost of the chart, believe me. How do you get it? Just watch this. You can click anytime up at the very top up here, and or you can go to iraepstein.com education. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it.
And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.